You might have heard claims online like, Nike makes shoes for just $5, or Yeezys cost only $12 to manufacture, yet Adidas sells them for $300. If these numbers are true, why are sneakers so expensive? Are we just paying for celebrity endorsements from stars like Jordan Blake, Malik Rivers, and Devin Steele? Well, let's dig deeper and find out what it actually costs to make a sneaker, and how much companies like Nike and Adidas really make when you buy a pair. Sneaker brands are pretty secretive when it comes to their production expenses, especially after facing criticism over labor conditions in overseas factories.
But industry expert Rahul C. broke it down on his site, Sole Review, and his insights give us a rare inside look at the economics of making a pair of running shoes.
Let's break this down step by step. We picked actual sneaker models from Nike and Adidas to analyze, not just a single colorway, but a range of colors since factory costs often vary based on materials or dyes used. The prices we're referencing are known as FOB costs, which stands for free on board. In simple terms, this is the price of the finished product when it's ready to be shipped from the factory, but before it gets transported across the ocean. So what do these numbers look like? Some shoes that retail for $150 only cost about $35 to manufacture at the factory. At first glance, that seems like a massive profit margin. But comparing production cost to retail price is like looking at someone's $180,000 annual salary and assuming they save $1.2 million every 5 years. It's not that simple. Like individuals, brands have many expenses: logistics, salaries, marketing, rent, taxes, and more. To get a clearer picture, we need to look at net profit, which is the money left after covering all costs.
In 2019, Nike's net income after tax was roughly 10% of their net sales, while Adidas was slightly lower at about 8%. But here's something important. Those profits are calculated based on the wholesale price, not what you pay.
When you see a sneaker with a $150 price tag, your first thought might be, wow, that must be an easy $100 profit for the brand. But in reality, it's far from that simple. Most people don't realize that brands like Nike or Adidas don't take home the full amount. In fact, they usually receive around $75 per pair because the remaining half goes to retailers, whether it's a local shoe store, a giant chain, or an online platform. Retailers have their own set of expenses: staff wages, rent, online infrastructure, advertising, payment processing, and shipping. So they buy the shoes wholesale at a reduced rate and then mark them up for customers to make their margin. It's how the traditional retail model has worked for decades. Now, let's talk about the brand's slice. If a sneaker wholesales for $75 and Nike or Adidas ends up with around $5.50 in profit, that means their net profit margin is just about 7.3%, but not on the $150 you paid, rather on their own $75 revenue. That small percentage is what remains after everything else is accounted for. So, where does all the money go? Let's rewind to where the sneaker's journey begins, at the factory. Manufacturing might cost around $35, but that's only the beginning. The brand then covers international freight, cargo insurance, and sometimes even security measures to prevent counterfeit losses. Shipping thousands of shoes across continents isn't cheap, and it's full of risk. Weather delays, port congestion, and lost containers are all real threats. That's why brands insure their shipments. When that container of sneakers finally lands at a port, say, in the US or Europe, the company must pay import duties and taxes, which vary depending on the materials used. A synthetic running shoe might face one rate, while a leather sneaker might be taxed at a higher rate. These import tariffs can range from 12% to 20%, and they eat into the margins quickly. Once all these costs are added up, including freight, insurance, and customs, the brand is left with what's called the landed cost. This figure is typically 20% to 22% higher than the factory cost and represents how much it takes to get each pair into the warehouse, ready to sell. But here's something most consumers never think about. Nike and Adidas rarely sell directly to you. While they have their own branded stores and websites, the majority of their shoes are sold through third-party retailers like Foot Locker, JD Sports, or large e-commerce platforms.
These retailers buy inventory in bulk at a discount, often around half the retail price, and then sell it to customers at full retail. This helps them cover operational costs and make a profit themselves.
For example, if the landed cost of a sneaker is $26 and the brand sells it to a retailer for $75, the brand sees a gross margin of $49, or about 65%. That might sound like a healthy margin, but remember, that's before spending a single dollar on business operations. So what else needs to be paid for out of that $49? Plenty. Things like salaries for employees across the globe, warehousing, storage, and global logistics, running physical and online storefronts, multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns, sponsorship deals with athletes and influencers, product design, testing, and research, legal fees, compliance costs, and, of course, taxes. Let's look at some real-world figures from 2019. Nike spent about 9.5% of their net sales on marketing alone. Adidas reportedly spent even more in the same period. Operational costs reached 22% for Nike and 28% for Adidas. And on top of that, taxes ate up 15% to 24% of their earnings. When you total everything up, what's left is a surprisingly slim slice of profit. For every $150 shoes sold, Nike might make around $5.50 and Adidas roughly $4.20, assuming everything goes as planned, with no shipping issues, unsold inventory, or marketing flops. Interestingly, Adidas, even with slightly higher production costs, still reports better gross margins. Why? Because they sell a larger portion of apparel, which generally yields higher profits than shoes. Nike, on the other hand, remains more footwear heavy, and footwear carries narrower margins.
So while the raw cost of making a sneaker might sound cheap, it's only a small part of a much more complex equation, one that spans across production, transportation, marketing, logistics, retail partnerships, and global finance.